Good morning, grade 10s. Today I will be doing one more set of notes, and I'm going to go over the independent practice that you had to do. You'll have a quiz that is due Sunday night, and you'll just do that in Google and it will mark it itself. All right, so let's get down to business, please. Here we are on page 147 in the pre-diploma book. It is also page 132 in the FOM book. You were supposed to do this already, so I'll just whip through this. What do you see there? X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Slope always equals Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1, which is 2 minus 0 over negative 4 minus 3, which is 2 over negative 7, which means your slope you could have written it as negative 2 over 7 or negative 2/7 or 2 over negative 7. Those are all the same thing. Graph using slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Now, you're smart kids. Y all by itself. What do you see right there? Y has a 2. So 3x minus 4 equals 2y. I need y by itself. So I would have to divide that by 2. If I do something to the right side of the equation, what do I have to do to the left? Same thing. So I get 3 over 2x minus 4 divided by 2 is 2 equals y by itself. Y is by itself. Now I'm in slope-intercept form. Even though y is over there, it's still okay. So I go to negative 2. Because that's my y-intercept, and there's my slope. Remember, that's my rise, and that's my run. So I can go up 1, 2, 3, and right 1, 2, because that's positive 3 and positive 2. Or I can go down 1, 2, 3 for negative 3 and left 2. Negative divided by negative gets me a positive, and there's my line. X and Y intercepts for this, we remember that it is x comma 0 is my x-intercept, and 0 comma y is my y-intercept. So in this one, my x's are x. So 6x plus 3, y is 0. 3 times 0 plus 12 equals 0. 6x plus 12 equals 0. 6x equals negative 12. X equals negative 2. Negative 2, 0. Negative 2, 0. Y, which I'll do in green, 6 times 0 plus 3y plus 12 equals 0. 3y plus 12 equals 0. 3y equals negative 12. Y equals negative 4. So my x is at negative 2. My y is at negative 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's my line. And lastly, find the slope of that line that connects those points. So we remember, slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Well, our slope is negative 4/5. So I'm going to go ahead and put the negative with the 5. It could go with the 4. That would be fine too. And that is going to equal, what do I see here? x1, y1, x2, y2. So y minus 1 over 5 minus 3, which is negative 5 over 4 y minus 1 over 5 minus 3 is 8. and then all we do is solve it. How do we solve these always? Cross them. Negative 40 equals 4y minus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Negative 36 equals 4y. Y equals negative 9. And then we're done. Okay, let's move on to today's notes, which begin on page for the pre-dips, it's on page 148. For FOM, it's page 133. So for pre-dips, 148 and 133. So, draw two lines which are parallel. Well, let's make sure they're parallel. So, take our first line, which we'll draw black, line 1, and we are going to say line 1 goes from negative 5, 0 to 0, 2. So negative 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to 2, right there. There's my first line. Everyone agree? Now, if we're going to make it parallel, it's got to be the same line, right? So we're going to slide this line 5 spaces. Line 2 is going to equal 0, 0 to 5, 2. So we're going to slide this 5 spaces to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, you're smart kids, so it's exactly the same line, right? If I move that, I move that black line, see, it's right on top. They're the same line. So the question is, how do their slopes compare? Well, what is this black slope? 2 fifths. What is this red slope? Negative 2, negative 5. Also 2 fifths. Their slopes are the same. So that tells us two lines with the same slope are parallel. Now that also means if we know two lines are parallel, then they have the same slope. That's the easy one. Perpendicular is a little harder. Now, first of all, perpendicular, you need to know, it's when two lines meet at 90 degrees. So let's do the easiest one first, because this takes 2 steps to show you. If I draw a vertical line and I draw a horizontal line, right? I'm actually going to do this more specifically. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that black line, line 1, has a slope. Remember, it's rise over run. My slope was 6. I rose 6, but I ran 0. Now, you guys are smart kids. You know that that is an undefined slope. Now, if I draw a line going 90 degrees from that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, line 2, its rise over run was 0 over 6. And you know that slope is 0. Now, you're smart kids. Notice what happened there. So that seems a little weird. So let's check something. If I take this right here and I rotate it, like that, and I put it right here. Now, line 1, you know this is 90 degrees now, right? Check line 1, the black line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, shoot, I screwed that up. Let's just do 2 different lines. No, we'll do that. We'll go from here. We'll put a dot up. We'll go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. I want you guys to do this one. What you need to do here is put line 1 goes from 0, 0 to 5 over 4, and line 2 goes from 0, 4 to 5, 0. So 0, 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is line 1. And 0, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. Now, when I do that, check. They cross over. Do they meet at 90 degrees? You can see, oops, damn it. You can see that those do not meet at 90 degrees, do they? And you can see quite plainly that that is not 90, right? So check the black slope. It was up 4. And so it rose 4 and it ran 5. So the black slope's m was 4 over 5. The red slope's m was negative 4 over 5. So you can see they have the same slopes, but they're opposite. But that's not 90, is it? So let's change this slightly. Let's move down to this corner. And I'll use 2 different colors. Line 1 goes from 0, 0, okay, to 5, negative 4. So we're going to go from 0, 0 out to 5, but we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And line 2, which we'll do in green, is going to go from 0, negative 5 to 4, 0. 3, 4, 5, 0, negative, oh, sorry. Blue line first. 0, 0 to 5, negative 4. And 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 4, 0. Now, have a look at that. Now, you guys know my shaky hands, right? Have a look at that. If I were to take, I'm going to do this properly for you. I'm going to use the straight line tool. Negative 2 from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's line 1. And there's line 2. I think. Now those, line 1, which is the blue one, went down 4, negative 4, and ran 5. Negative 4, 5. The green one went up 5 and ran 4. Went up 5 and ran 4. Now, you'll notice over here they flipped, right? 6, 0, 0, 6. Here they changed signs, but it wasn't 90. Here they flipped and changed signs, which gave us this as a 90 degree. So, parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite signs and reciprocals of each other. So, let's look here. If the first line has a slope of positive 2/3, then a perpendicular line has opposite reciprocal. So what's the opposite of positive 2/3? The m would be negative and reciprocate 3/2. Perpendicular to that is negative 7/1. So I make the sign opposite positive and I flip it, 1/7. This would be 4 because parallel is the same. Perpendicular here, I flip it and I change the sign. Slope is 0. Perpendicular is undefined because the opposite of a flat line is a vertical line. And if it's undefined, our slope would be 0. And that's all there is to it. So let's have a look at number 1. I want to decide if ST is parallel, perpendicular, or neither to AB. So that means I have to check the slope of ST. And I have to check the slope of AB. If they're parallel, the slopes will be the same. If they're perpendicular, they will be opposite reciprocal. If they're neither, then neither one of those will be true. So let's do these. ST is right here. There's S and T. So let's check that. In S and T, there's an x1, y1, x2, y2. So 5 minus 1 over -1 minus -4, which is 5 minus -1 is 6. -1 minus -4 is 3, which means that slope is 2. But we remember a slope is a rise over run, so it's 2/1. Now let's check B. AB, there's x1, y1, x2, y2. So that's -1 minus 1 over 5 minus 1. -1 minus 1 is -2. 5 minus 1 is 4. That is -1/2. Now, I check. Are those the same? No. Are they opposite reciprocals? Positive, negative, 2/1, 1/2. Yes. So that means ST is perpendicular to AB. That sign means perpendicular. Wrote that U funny. That sign means perpendicular. Now, this question says, I've got a triangle. Is it a right triangle? If it's a right triangle, then two of those sides are going to meet at 90 degrees, right? But there's 1, 2, 3 corners we'd have to check. I don't want to check three corners. That's a pain. So what I do is I sketch it out. A, we'll make A red. It's at -3, 1. 1, 2, 1. There's A. B is at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -1, -2. There's B. And C is at 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's C. Now, if I make that triangle just in a sketch, where is the only possibility of 90 degrees? It has to be right there, doesn't it? So I don't even need to check these other two. All I need to check is the slope of AC against the slope of BC. And if they are opposite reciprocals, that'll make this a 90. And that'll make this a right triangle. So let's check. AC, and I'll do AC in black. There's our X1 and our Y1. And there's our X2 and our Y2, because we're only checking A and C. So that's 4 minus 1 over 3 minus 3, which is 3 over 6, which is 1/2. Now, let's check BC. There's our X1, there's our Y1, there's our X2, there's our Y2. 4 minus 2 over 3 minus 6. 4 minus 2 is 6, right? Over 3 minus 6 is -3. 6 over -3 is -2 over 1. Are they opposites? One's positive, one's negative. Yes, they are opposite. Are they reciprocals? 1 over 2, 2 over 1. They are reciprocals. So that makes them perpendicular. So that means, yes, that is a right triangle. Turn the page over. A, B, C, D. I want to know what I can put there for them to be parallel. So that would mean the slope of AB would have to equal the slope of CD. Now we remember X1, Y1, X2, Y2, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So the slope of AB in green is 10 minus 5 over 7 minus 3. And then we check CD, which is A minus 2 over 1 minus 0. So 10 minus 5 is -5. Sorry, it's +5. 7 minus 3 is 4. And that would have to equal A minus 2 over 1. How do I solve that? The same way I always solve it. I cross. 5 would have to equal 4A minus 8. Bring the 8 over here. 13 would have to equal 4A, and A would have to equal 13 over 4. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. The slopes have to be equal. Now, how do I do it if I want them perpendicular? Well, AB doesn't change. It's still 5 over 4. But if they're perpendicular, what has to happen to that slope? And I should change to blue for that if it's going to be perpendicular. Well, perpendicular means it has to be opposite and reciprocated. So right now, I had A minus 2 over 1. So now I got to reciprocate it, 1 over A minus 2, and I have to make it opposite. So I got to make that negative. And then what do? Same thing I always do. I cross them. And I get 5a minus 10 has to equal negative 4. So 5a, bring that over, it becomes positive 10. 5a has to equal 6, and a has to equal 6 over 5. And that's it. Alrighty. So, for homework, practice, page 151 to 152. To 152 in the FOM, or in the pre-dip book. In the FOM book, it's page 136 to 137 in the FOM book. Now, you also will have a quiz due Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. That quiz is on Google Classroom. You also, I want you to do the next pages. So, that's showing you the answers. Page 153 in the PD book. I'm just going to pause the recording so